Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 22 with our realistic series. There's an easy way to find out, is if I go in here, and then I go back to the growth, we should be able to see if that looks parallel to that, which is kind of what I'm after. And it does indeed look like it's parallel to... And that looks like it's a straight line as well. All right, I'm quite happy with that. I think we can go with that. Leave that one there. You over here. Start you up now. He's ready to go. And I'll jump over to this one. This one can get going as well. As soon as the other tractor is finished. Let's bring you in over here. There we go. As soon as the other tractor is finished... we'll jump back up there, and then we'll put that one going on the next field. We want to put barley going in the next field down. So that will be those two planted up and ready. And then sunflowers will go into the big field that I cultivated ready for the spring. And I think I was going to put corn in the field that we had, that we've got sugar beet in. So I got 4 crops up there, 2 of which are straw and 2 of which will not be straw. And then after that, I'm not really sure. I don't really know what we're going to do, because we need to do something with this field, and this is the one that I'm not sure about. We do need to plow this field. There's going to be one of the big winter jobs, is getting this field plowed up. So we'll get our double plow set up. We'll use a single plow to go and do like the outside edges, and we'll have the double plow on this big tractor, and that one is the one that will do the bulk of the plowing work. I really do like that double plow though. And yes, I am aware from comments and also a little bit more research, they're a lot less common now. It was kind of a thing that was... that a couple of companies started making these front-mounted plows because the designs that they had for plows basically is a cheaper option to get the same number of furrows as a single very large plow. But ultimately it's not something that really took off, and it's... people tend to prefer just having a single large plow. And it's ended up sort of being better doing it like that. Even though a single large plow is typically more expensive than having the 2 separate ones, it's still the preferred option. So, and when you've got the kind of money to buy the tractor and that you need to pull the plow anyway, the extra 15,000 for a single large plow is neither here nor there, really. I mean, let's be honest. So it's kind of a niche thing. However, I still like it. I think it looks really cool. So for that reason and that reason alone, I am keeping it on this farm, and I'm going to continue to use it. Cool factor definitely plays a part. Cool factor must never, ever be underestimated. Like, it doesn't matter who you are or what you're doing, cool factor is definitely something that you should always take into account. Alright? Never, ever dismiss the cool factor. It's always there. It's always important, and it must never be ignored. I was just thinking, I'm going to need a sugar beet harvester soon. I'm going to get the biggest sugar beet harvester that money can buy, because we've got a lot of sugar beet, and I don't want to be skimping on that particular investment, which means that I'm going to need to take out some more loan in order to do that, because we just don't have the stuff to sell at the moment. So what I'll probably do is... well, see, I want to get... sheep is going to be the first animal that we're going to go for, because they're the easiest ones to do. We'll buy the sheep pen, and we're going to need to buy some sheep, and then we'll need the grass cutting equipment and so on. Now, I ploughed up the grass to start with, which means that we need to plant the grass, and then we need to wait for it to grow. If I can get the grass planted before the winter... the grass should grow fairly quickly, and we'll have some available to cut in the spring, which would be good. So we can get sheep then. Because sheep can have just grass in the pen, or they can have, we can make some hay. I might make hay instead of just putting grass in for them. We'll have to wait and see on that one. I'm also not quite sure how much of it I'm going to get. Now, I have, on previous series, done quite a bit with sheep and focused on turning the wool into fabric, and then from there turning the fabric into clothing, and then selling the clothing. So we get the whole production chain going. I don't actually want to do that this time. I would rather just, we'll have the sheep there, and so we've sort of got a nod towards the sheep existing, but other than that, I don't really want to get too involved with sheep. So what I'm actually planning to do is have the sheep and just sell the wool from them at the appropriate time of year, and not actually build a spinnery or invest in a spinnery or a tailor or any of that. Just have the wool, sell the wool, and be done with it, and that's it. So there won't be any additional stuff coming from the sheep. At least that's my plan at the moment, because just the wool on its own is actually a reasonable investment. You do get a nice bit of money coming back from it, so you are able to make a decent profit from sheep, just from sheep alone. You don't have to go and get your you don't have to take your wool to the spinnery and have it being turned into fabric in order to be able to make decent money out of them. You can still do that with just the wool on its own. And also, if you run a kind of sequence where once your sheep are all producing, you take the top, you basically just remove a few sheep each couple of months. I found in the time-lapse series for the old farm one, I think it was every season change I was doing it. I'm stuck again. It's really annoying, because what happens with this is you get caught on a little wedge of silage, and then your wheels move a bit, and it actually squashes down the silage under the wheels, but not the bit that your main body of the tractor is wedged on, and you end up being stuck completely, because the rest of the silage is gone, and so you're left with this wedge that's sort of underneath the main body of the tractor, and you can't move. Slightly inconvenient. So we're going to do that over that way, and I'm going to drive through here a couple times. I need to try and get these mounds on the side here leveled down a little bit. So we'll drive round another couple times and just smooth that out. AI Worker C has completed their task. That is, the wheat has now been planted. So we need to shift that one down. Actually, I think we're going to have to run back to the farm first and reload the seed drill. Then we can carry on doing planting. I mean, I could go and use my little machine that I bought for carrying the seed out. We can chuck a pallet into the back of that one and do it that way. That might be the best way forward, I think. I'll do once more around. Once more onto the breach, dear friends. Around here. And I will head up this side and go right down over the side here. I want to try and push that silage down as much as I can. There we go, that'll do. Right. Yeah, I think it's time to drag out our little seed tender machine that we were using, because I really like that one, and we haven't used that for a little bit. Nice to have that one driving around. We have got that one on permanent lease, I think it is, so we might as well get our money's worth out of it. Let's bring you back down here. And yes, the hired help is staying there in that forager until such time as we come back, because they still need to be paid. Right, have we got any bits there that have been missed? Nope, doesn't look like it, and doesn't look like we've got bits here either, and we have a field that has been planted. So if we have a look in here now, we go from the growth up to this bit. There's a little bit that needs rolling, that little spot right there. We just need to do half of the field with fertilizer later on. So field 23 is going to be our next one. So I'm on wheat at the moment. Now switch that over to barley. I've still got 480 litres. I don't even need to fold this one up to move in through. I can get started on here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to reverse out. And I'm going to get a pallet. Sling it in the back. I'm hoping that it won't auto-magically unload the pallet into the back. I don't want it tipping the pallet out. That's my concern. Shouldn't do. I don't think it does with this one. So we don't need to get fertilizer. We don't need any of that. We just want this. So I'll chuck that one in there. And then I'll get another one. And I'll chuck that in as well. That one up there. Right, so we've got those two in there. Excellent. And we can now head off to the field. It's a little bit slower now that we've gone and loaded it up a bit, but that's fine. We still get to drive this. I really do. I absolutely love this vehicle. And I tell you what, going downhill with the wind behind us, this thing's quite fast. It's quite impressive, really. We get a good turn of speed. You load it up, head off down the hill. You wouldn't even know that it only had a sewing machine for an engine. You wouldn't even know. We got a little bit of a run-up going up the hill, which is fantastic. And now it's starting to slow down a bit. It's a little bit more sluggish just chugging up here. But he's still not too bad, actually. It's when you put a trailer on the back that he really struggled. It was because we got that whole that seed tender thing that we stuck on the back of it. That was the bit that struggled with. But doing it like this, he seems to be able to drive around at a reasonable speed, and I'm quite happy with that. So let's bring you over here. And I know it says wheat on those pallets. We're going to ignore that. And we're going to load it up anyway. Here we go. Right, there's one pallet, and there's a little bit on the next one. And then I can cover back on and head into here. So I'm going to do the same on this field as I did on the other one. We will do some outside rounds. Get this barley in here. It only does 15 kilometers an hour. It's a rather sedate pace. I say it's a sedate pace. It's fairly normal for most of the games, but I'm kind of getting used to playing also on my other series, which is the Gelderland one, and it's somewhat unrealistic on that one. So if I'm planting or basically doing any job at less than 30 kilometers an hour, it feels sluggish and slow. So doing it at 15 kilometers an hour, although quite a reasonable speed to be traveling across the field, it does feel a bit slow by some of the standards that I'm starting to become accustomed to. Yes, I feel maybe I'm just getting a little bit spoiled. That might be it. So this right in over here is the sheep pen, and that is the little choice piece of land that we're going to be purchasing for ourselves sometime soon. And I'm also wanting to... I'm interested to see if there's a grass field nearby that we could also go and buy. Like one that's already got grass in it. Because if there is, we could buy that and we'd be able to cut it, like, now soon. Either today or we could cut it in October. I mean, I've seen people make hay in October. September is a little bit better. You have more chance of actually being able to dry the stuff out. But I have seen people do it in October as well. You're never going to get very good quality hay. Third cut in September, October is never a particularly good cut. You just don't have the sugars in the grass at that time of year. It's the kind. It's basically food to keep the animals going. You're not going to fatten them up on that. So if you've got heavily pregnant animals, if you've got animals that are still giving a lot of milk, if you've got young stock that you're fattening up, you don't give them the third cut stuff. It's basically maintenance only. And if you're really pushing it, you might mix a bit of that in with a bit of the better. The first cut is for heavily pregnant animals and the ones that you're trying to fatten up, just that last little bit. Give them the final push towards being properly plump and succulent. Those are the ones you give first cut to. Because it's got the highest quantity of sugar in it, so it's the best quality of grass that you're going to get. And that high quantity of sugar ends up being converted into, well, it's obviously it's more energy for the animals. So the better quality of the grass, the better the animal does on that particular bit of grass. Right, we're going to bring you over here. I'm actually going to just straighten up a little bit and do that again, like this. There we go, that's better. And head on down here. Before I head off too far, I want to just scroll out a little bit. We'll go here and we will activate the grass bit as well. So that's the sheep farm there. We've got grass field is field 46. 51 all the way down there is a bit too far away for my taste. 37 there and 14 up there. Now, to get to 14 would actually require us to... We can go to this road here, but we can't easily get across this river anywhere here. Doesn't look like there's any ford across it like we've got next to our farm here. This is only a small river anyway. So we have to go up to the bridge up there. So we have to go from here. We have to go all the way up, turn off the road there, and go up that one, all the way up, round, and into that field. It's a little bit too far away for me. It's going to be quite inconvenient working that one. This one here, field 37, I'm hoping... If I was to buy that one, I would hope that we'd be able to get to it from this corner here. That's where I'd like... Let's go and have a look, shall we? Visit the gas station. Right, field 37 is that field right there. That's the field that I'm looking at and drooling over. Can we access that field? So this comes into the gas station here, into the petrol station. We cannot get to the field from the petrol station. We go over this way a little bit. There's nothing there. I can't get to it here. There's like boulders across, but we can't get actually into the field. So let's go over to the field itself and see. I got a feeling it's from the road on the other side. I've got a barbed wire fence right next to me here. And I can't do a lot about that. And I've got the barbed wire fence, and it comes down here really narrow, and then comes up to this. So we can't get through here, which is really unfortunate. It would have been awesome if they'd sort of done it from this side, so we could get in here. So right in there, I've got grass. It's all ready to harvest. It's ready to go. And there isn't a path along the bottom of that field either. Which means that in order to be able to get into field 37, we have to drive... So across the roundabout from the sheep... Straight down that road that's there in town. Oh, it's raining. This isn't good. I'm not supposed to be planting in the rain. I'm going to carry on planting anyway. We're just going to plant in the mud. I have no choice. It's not like we've got 30 days in the month. So we're going to need to just carry on. This is where we get into the field. We cut in across this bit. Alright, we come in here. And you can see there's a fence line there, and that fence does actually come down to this bit. So yeah, I think coming in off of the edge here, this bit is fine. I've gone through many field entrance that looks like that. Many, many times, actually, because it's quite common for a field entrance to become quite overgrown like that. And yes, if you travel up here, I can see from the map, it does actually look like there's a proper track that goes into the field from the top end up here. If we go for a quick hop, skip, and a jump. See, it's all fenced up through there. The whole side of the field is fenced. Right up there. And there you have a track that comes in from this little bit of farm right here, actually. So this little bit of farm, if we were to buy this, this could sort of be an area where we could go and store bales. If we were to make hay off of field 37, we could store the hay in that bit there. So if we have a look at the prices, it's that little bit there where we could go and store some hay. That field doesn't even have a price on it. But 85 right there is 15,000. And that would be a really good storage area for hay, because we don't have anything to store the hay down here. 94 is 75,000. Then the field itself that we want is 175. So that one there at 15. This one at 75. That puts... wait, and that's 170. It was 176. We'll call it 175 just for simplicity's sake. So we want 75, and 175 is 250. 265. Add in another couple. 267,000. We're looking at 267,000 because I actually really like the idea of getting that so that we can store our hay up here straight off the field rather than taking it all the way back up to our farm, because to go from the sheep we have to go either around the road and all the way around that way, or we go up this track, back this way, and then up the road and up here and in and into our barn up here, which is still a bit of a convoluted way of going. Although, to be honest, it's not much better getting to this one, is it? It's just easier when it comes to taking it off the field. It's quick to take it off the field. Now I'm actually thinking about it. It might be better if we just stick with the one we got. We'll wait and see on that one. I'll see how I feel like. We can always go and buy this after. But this field here is ready to harvest. It's ready to go. Look at that. Potential yield, 15 tons per hectare. We've got 3.67 hectares in here. Land area, field 37 area, 3 hectares. Sorry. So we got 45 tons of hay we can get off of here. That seems pretty good. I like that. I like that a lot. Right. I don't want to go to you. I actually want to go to this one, and I want to carry on doing this. So, if we're going to go with the sheep, we need to borrow 267,000 to be able to buy the sheep and also buy that little piece of land up above the field so that we can also store the hay up there. That would then allow us to keep our storage shed that we've got for other stuff, but I'm kind of actually thinking now that maybe that's 15,000 that's a little bit of a waste, because it's a long way to go, isn't it? And it's not that far to go from here. Like, it's actually probably quicker to get to the farm. It's just a little bit longer to transport when we're first doing the harvest. That's going to be the only drawback. I don't actually see that as a major problem. Alright, okay, you've talked me into it. We won't buy the 15,000 euro small couple of sheds up atop. We'll just buy the grass field, buy the sheep. So this is still 250,000 for the grass field and the sheep. And then I'm going to want to be able to buy some actual sheep as well. So that's going to be more money going in. And unless we can get the protein feed being made, we're still not going to be able to do anything anyway. Well, we're just going to have the sheep that we buy, but they won't be able to reproduce. We have to have that protein feed being made so that we can have our sheep able to reproduce. So we're going to need to buy the machine that does that actually does that, and then work from there. We've got a fertilizer machine on the farm at the moment and a seed machine, but we don't have the one for making the feed. We've also got on the farm at the moment some barley, which we'll be able to use to start making. We'll have the cut sugar beet soon, but we also need to buy the cut sugar beet machine. At least I think it's the cut sugar beet machine that we need to get. Quick, easy way to do this. I go to production over here. Right, we have got the Ferty Master is the one we've got, and the Seed Master is the one we've got. Now, these are 40 grand each. I was actually told getting the Compost Master is a good idea, because compost, we might not use it for much, but it does sell for a decent bit of money. It's a good side earner if we've got spare straw. So we'll probably get that we're going to have to figure out a way to load these. I don't like that these are so difficult to load, though. We've got to load them in the top. We have to. We've got no choice. Not the pig food one. The feed master right there. This is one that we're going to want. So we need the cut sugar beet, which means that we're going to need this one as well. So we need 80 grand for those two before we can even start doing the rest of it. Now, I know I had a vast sum of money to start with, and I went and spent a whole load of it on all kinds of things. I bought a load of land, and bought a load of other stuff. But the thing is, when you go to a bank and you say, I want to borrow some money, if you can prove to them you don't really need it, you just kind of feel like having some money, they'll throw it at you. If you go to the bank and you say, I need money, and they suspect that you do actually need that money, you will never get the money. That's how it works. That is how the whole system is designed to work. If you don't need it, you can have it. If you do need it, you can't have it. So if you don't have very much money and you go to the bank and say, I need to borrow some money so that I can, you know, have money to eat, things like that, and then also invest in this or that or the other. The bank will say, don't be daft. If you can't, if you need this money, don't be daft. We're not going to give you this money. You need it. But if you go to them and you say, look, I had 2 million euros and I gone and spent it all on land and fancy things. I can carry on going as I am. And I have a whole load of stuff. I could just keep going as I am, and I live a very comfortable life. I'm very happy with the life that I've got, but quite frankly, I just feel like having more expensive stuff. So I'd like to borrow another £500,000. The bank will say, certainly, sir. Would you like that in £5? £5? We're euros here. Certainly, sir. Would you like that in €5 notes or €10 notes? Or we could even just do a bank transfer if that's a bit more convenient. £500,000 in €5 notes is probably a little bit inconvenient for you, sir. And the last thing we would like to do is for you to be inconvenienced in any way. Please, please take our money. That's how banking works. So, we, in this game at least, are in the rather fortunate position of being able to go to the bank and say, I don't need your money. I just want some because I want the shiny things. And the bank will say, absolutely, sir. Definitely. We can understand that. The shiny things are what makes life worth living. Not any of this nonsense about family values or anything of those kinds of things. Money is the absolute most important thing, and having the shiny things is the single most important thing in life. Now, I must just point out that just because the person at the bank is saying that, that doesn't mean that I'm saying that. I'm just repeating what the person at the bank is saying. Unfortunately, folks, that is all we have got time for today. A massive thank you to everybody who has earned their way into the Great Book of Names. To find out some more details about all the names coming past, please head into the description and click on the link to the Discord. It's a link to another video. The link is on the other video. Please also consider checking out the links there for Nitrado, who provide gaming servers for games like Farming Simulator, Minecraft, Ark, and several others. And there's also Fanatical, who will help support your gaming habit by providing you with cheap games and also giving me a small commission on anything that you buy using my link. If you've enjoyed this particular video, then please head down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.